You ever look at your finances and just wonder? Like, why am I working so hard, maybe even getting raises, but I still feel like I'm just running in place? It's a feeling a lot of us know. So today we're going to break down the common habits that keep so many of us financially stuck. And more importantly, we'll get into the mindset shifts that can actually lead to real wealth. First up, let's see just how big this problem really is.
Okay, so just to get a sense of how widespread this is, get this. A staggering 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, think about that. This isn't some small issue affecting a few people. It is the financial reality for the vast majority.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because it's not just about how much you make. Nearly half, 47% of people earning over $100,000 a year are in that exact same boat. So right away, that tells you something, doesn't it? Earning more money clearly is not the whole solution.
So that leads to the big question, right? Why? Why are so many of us financially stuck? And look, it's really easy to point fingers at things we can't control. Inflation, the government, our jobs. And yeah, those things absolutely play a role. But what if the real power to change things is a lot closer to home? What if it's hidden in our everyday habits? Yeah, it really all comes down to this. Building wealth isn't just about the number on your paycheck. It's about the little decisions you make day in and day out. It's about your mindset, your habits, and what you actually do with the money you have. All right, so here's our game plan. We're going to tackle 3 huge areas. First, we'll look at rethinking everyday spending. Then, we'll talk about adopting an owner's mindset. And finally, we'll dive into mastering your financial worldview. Okay, let's jump right into part 1, rethinking everyday spending. This is all about switching off that financial autopilot and starting to make conscious, intentional choices with our money.
The very first step, and it sounds so simple, but I promise you it's crucial, is just getting real with yourself about needs versus wants. A need? That's basic survival stuff. Food, shelter, utilities. A want? Well, that's pretty much everything else, from that daily coffee to a shiny new car. Getting a handle on this difference, that's the absolute foundation of taking back control.
Let's talk about a perfect example of a want that loves to disguise itself as a need. A new car. Right now, the average monthly car payment is $532. Just think about that. That is a massive financial anchor, just dragging you down month after month, year after year. And this really gets to the heart of the real cost. It's not just the $500 a month. It's what that $500 could be doing for you. I mean, just ask yourself this: how different could your finances be if you invested that money into your future instead? We're talking about a potentially life-changing amount of money over time. So what's the alternative to that trap? Well, here's a simple, super powerful strategy. Step 1, live on less for a little while and just save up a pile of cash. Step 2, use that cash to buy a reliable used car, no loan needed. And step 3, this is the magic part, take the money that would have been your car payment and start investing it every single month. All right, another huge trap we all fall into is something called lifestyle inflation. You know exactly what this is. You get a raise, and suddenly your spending goes up right along with it. A bigger paycheck means a nicer car, a bigger house, and before you know it, you're right back where you started, just running faster on that financial treadmill. The secret? The next time you get a raise, just pretend you didn't and invest the difference.
And that actually leads us perfectly into our second big idea, adopting an owner's mindset. This is all about a fundamental shift from being just a consumer of things to becoming an owner of assets.
Here is the absolute simplest way to think about it. The consumer mindset says, I'm thirsty, I'm going to buy a Coke. The owner mindset says, I'm going to buy shares of Coca-Cola. See the difference? One is about just consuming a product. The other is about owning a piece of the system that creates the product.
And the results of these two mindsets, they're night and day. Every time you buy stuff, a new phone, a couch, whatever, it's a direct hit to your net worth. That stuff starts losing value the second you buy it. But when you buy assets, like stocks or real estate, you're buying things that can actually go up in value. One drains your wealth, the other builds it.
This next quote really reframes the whole idea of spending. Think about it. You're giving your life away to these companies instead of buying some of that back. We trade our life hours for money, right? We can either use that money to buy stuff that goes down in value, or we can use it to buy assets that go up in value. One keeps you working forever, the other literally buys back your freedom.
This whole owner's mindset thing, it even changes how you look at a sale.
See, the wrong kind of discount is buying, some piece of junk just because it's 50% off. You're still just spending money. The right kind of discount? That's when you buy a real asset, like stocks or real estate, when the price is down. That isn't just bargain shopping. That's how you build serious wealth.
All right, let's get to our third and final section, and this is the one that really ties it all together. Mastering your financial worldview. This is about making a huge mental shift from a scarcity mindset, where you feel like a victim of your circumstances, to a mindset of agency, where you know you have the power to change your own story.
And let's just be honest for a second. It can definitely feel like the system is rigged against you, right? I mean, home prices feel totally disconnected from what people actually earn. It can feel impossible to get ahead. And that frustration, it's real and it's completely valid.
But when you're faced with that feeling, you basically have two ways to react. You can blame all the stuff you can't control, the government, inflation, corporations, and that just leaves you feeling powerless. Or you can take total accountability for the things you can control, your habits, your work ethic, your spending. That's where your real power is.
And a huge piece of this puzzle is who you hang around with. You've probably heard that old saying, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with most. If your crew is kind of lazy about their finances, chances are you will be too. But if you surround yourself with people who are pushing forward, who are learning and building, that energy, that mindset, is going to rub off on you.
Now here's a habit that sounds completely backwards, but it can totally rewire your brain. Giving. I mean, actually giving a percentage of your income away. Even when you feel like you don't have enough to spare, doing it forces a shift in your thinking. It moves you from that scarcity mindset of I don't have enough to an abundance mindset of I have more than enough to share. And weirdly enough, that can actually make you more motivated to go out and earn more. So, let's bring this all home. All of these habits we've talked about, getting your spending under control, thinking like an owner, mastering your worldview. Look, this isn't about just piling up a bunch of money for the sake of it. The ultimate goal is so much bigger than that. It's about using money for what it really is. A tool to buy back your time, your choices, your freedom. And that really leaves us with one final big question to think about. Every single dollar that passes through your hands, that represents a piece of your life that you traded to get it. So the question is, are you spending your life or are you investing in it? The choice, as they say, is yours.